Thanks for tuning into Topanga Sessions. I'm your host, Nick Stubblefield. I'm here with Camille. How you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing well. Now, one thing that we were talking about before we actually started shooting is talking about how our pain is we always try to compare our pain to other people. And the thing is that we are all individuals, and what happens to one of us is completely different from the other. So
Yes.
for you, your divorce with your parents really impacted you to who you are today.
Yes.
Can you expand on that?
So I feel like a lot of sometimes as individuals we don't understand what our pain and our anxieties and our issues in terms of mental problems and stuff comes from a lot of times. And but I've come to find there's a few patterns that I've actually realized, and every time I have a problem either with my family or my boyfriend or my friends, sexually or socially or anything, it always leads back to my parents getting a divorce. You know what I mean? Like they were my I love them. I was raised by a lot of love. My family is really they're very close. But the moment
I mean, you are Colombian too,
yes,
so
exactly.
like family's
So,
everything.
Exactly. Like our family was always everything. And I was brought up, even when they got divorced, they were still very present in my life. But something broke inside of me when that happened. You know what I mean? Like I had this, I have this personality which is very like fairy tale and like romance and all these things. And I would see my parents as like this amazing couple that they loved each other so much. And then that idea broke at a very, very young age. And it's kind of like, it really broke my world down. And it's not like I don't believe in love at all. I'm completely I'm the truest romantic ever. But it definitely had an impact.
It's like Humpty Dumpty, you know, that old...
Yes. And it's like it released a lot of anxiety, which I wouldn't understand. And it's about what you said, like when you're a kid, your parents and grown-ups would talk about a lot of things, and they think you're just so young, like she doesn't understand what you were talking
absolutely.
about, like, oh, she's not paying attention, she's just playing games in her mind or whatever. And they don't understand how the capacity of absorption is when you're so young. Like you really are picking up on every little detail you're seeing or hearing, and it really creates a big impact into the future, you know. And I think that's what happened to me. I would hear so many conversations with my family, my aunts talking to my dad about my mother. And I would be like so deeply offended because my mom is like my fucking mother. Like she's everything to me. And just seeing them talking about my mom in a really negative way, but then my mom talking about my dad like that. And I was just like, I was torn between two worlds.
It's such a fairy tale destruction.
Yes. It was really heartbreaking a lot of times. And I grew up with that like kind of resentment towards like, not my family because I love them, but I do have that like memory so vivid, and I cannot forgive that. You know what I mean? So when
Well, you haven't learned how to forgive it yet.
Yes.
The thing is that while these traumas are happening, my mom divorced my dad when we were very young because there were just some issues that happened. He actually became a born-again Christian.
Oh, wow.
And was almost fanatical about like everything had to be based about like Christianity.
Huh.
And I'm not taking away from people's religions, but the thing is that you are going to find a way to let this go when it's time, and it's going to be nice and healthy.
Yes.
So I actually also have, I'm dating someone who has a little 6-year-old. So this really is very true to me right now. And everything that I say around him and what we do is always trying to be in a very positive light to make sure that he has the best foot forward.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, my cousin has a little kid, and she would talk so much about the dad because they're divorced too. And I always tell her, be very, very careful to what you say in front of your kid. Because a lot of times you don't realize, but they're always listening. It maybe not like actively and consciously listening, but their self-conscious is completely listening. Like they're It's like everything is so opened up, and it's gonna stay there.
Well, they're just getting used to the world, so
Of
they're
course.
like, what is
Yeah.
this whole entire place?
Right.
And what can I get out of it?
Yes, absolutely. And it's like, even when I was a kid, like my dad, I would see, well, one of the reasons they got divorced was my dad had a drinking problem. He was an alcoholic. He doesn't do it anymore. He's a recovered alcoholic, thank goodness.
That's amazing.
So he's been sober for about 10 years now. So it's been a while, but he was a very heavy drinker when he was younger with my mom. And he was a complete womanizer, which, I mean, for Colombians is like normal, you know, like Colombians
Yeah,
love
but
women.
still.
But it was like, he would cheat on my mom a lot, you know.
Oh, that's awful.
And he would get drunk all the time, and they had a very
Tumultuous.
toxic relationship in that time. They were always fighting. They were always screaming at each other. They were very aggressive. They wouldn't like necessarily hit each other, but they would come to like very close moments where they would be like kind of violent. You know what I mean? And I would always be present. Like they wouldn't like, oh, let's just fight in the room. Like I would be there, and I would see my dad picking up the bags to like leave the house, and my mom like punching him, not punching him, but like pushing him, like, you're not leaving this house. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh my God, what is going on? You
so
know,
much to deal with.
yeah, I was like just crying, like stop, and then I would find out that my mom would like talk to the friends, like, oh, I caught him cheating. He was doing this and that, and he's so nasty. He's so fucking dirty. Sorry for the word, but like, and I'll be like, what is going on?
There's no reason to apologize here. This is about being
I don't know
open.
how like censored
No.
it is.
This is a place where you can be open and vulnerable because it's about letting this out and be in the moment. Because the more honestly that we actually let out the darkness, the more we actually let the light in.
True.
And the easier it is, because we always are trying to hide and be like the best version of ourselves,
Yes.
which
Yes.
is really destroying us at
Yes.
the core of who we are. So please, if you need to cuss, please cuss. Because the
Thank
thing
you.
is that this is not just for therapy for you. This is like this person beyond the lens right here is watching this, and I think can probably really understand if you actually have been through a divorce. So you're like, your vulnerability is your strength.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love cursing sometimes when I get too emotional. I mean, this is and I don't usually talk about this a lot with people. I mean, it's a very
you
private
really should.
matter. So I definitely should, because I'm very open with my problems and my
But not at the core of it.
but not at the core of it, exactly. Because sometimes I don't like to blame people too much. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like something I just try not to talk about so much. But I realize the more I think about it, the more I talk about it too, the freer I feel, and the more I understand what the source of my problems are, and that's how I can manage to like overcome a lot of things.
Speaking of that, you also, because of this, developed a eating disorder.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that this is the source of it.
Although it might have been
But it could have. I mean, listen, both my parents have very addictive personalities. So my dad was an alcoholic. My mom used to smoke a lot. Like she would literally smoke probably like 2 packs a day of cigarettes.
Wow.
It was bad, like bad. I've never seen anyone smoke so much, and I suffered a lot as a kid seeing her smoking, because it was like she would turn one off and then would turn one on, and I was like, you're gonna kill yourself, like something. And by the way, now I sometimes smoke, which is horrible. Like it's like a slap in the face for my mom, because she doesn't smoke anymore, and she's like, what the hell are you doing? Like,
well, this is because of you, Mom.
yeah, it's like, you can't say anything. But she's like, you know how much I suffered and struggled to quit this shit, and you told me to do it, and now you're doing it. And I'm like, but I don't do it like you do. But it's not an excuse. I mean, I know that. And so again, coming back to what I'm saying is they're both very addictive. We can get very obsessive with our thoughts, and everyone deals with their anxiety in a different way. Some people just play games, some people drink, some people smoke. My way out was just focus and obsessed with my body.
Well, we are in LA
obsessed.
too, so
Yes, well, this wasn't in LA. This was actually
no,
in
I know.
Bogota. I was living there, and I became really obsessed with my body. And it was kind of like, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, you have an eating disorder. You're so superficial. You're so shallow." People don't understand. It has nothing to do. I mean, it does. It starts with the body and looking at yourself, comparing to others, and like, oh my God, my legs are too big, and my cheeks and whatever. But then it gets so much deeper than that, that it just your body is the last thing. It becomes your whole entire world. It just becomes everything. Absolutely. It takes over your brain. You cannot think and focus on anything else besides how many calories I'm taking. This is how many kilograms I'm weighing today. Like it was just kind of like I have a demon in my mind.
Well, to share with you as well, and by the way, thanks so much for talking about this. I actually dealt with body dysmorphia when I was younger because I was short and fat. I got really tall.
Short?
Yeah, I was actually 5 feet tall in like the 6th grade, and then I grew like a foot in a year. But I always saw myself as that short, frumpy kid. And actually here in LA, crazy enough, I actually found the ability to overcome this and just truly be happy.
Exactly, because you see so many like different, like people here are just more open to like really talk about their issues. I feel like in Colombia we don't have that much, like we don't talk about these things that much. It's just more of a...
It's not a cultural thing.
It's not a cultural thing to talk about your anxiety or whatever, because they don't see it as a mental, like a disease. They just see it as you're spoiled. And you are...
Which is so sad.
It's very sad. It's like, you have everything. Why are you like this? Just think of something positive. Like, you're so ungrateful. Why are you feeling so... Like, it's like, or you're so shallow. Like, why are you so obsessed with food? Just don't think about that. Just eat normally. And it's like... I really wish it was that simple. Like, and people don't get it. They're just like, you're so dumb, you're so idiot. Like, why? Why would you do this to yourself? You're killing yourself. Like, this is stupid. Like, only stupid people do that. And I'm just like feeling so attacked. And it's like, I wish you could understand what goes on in my mind 24/7. It's really not that easy. And obviously you have to not victimize yourself and be like, well, that's not that easy, so I'm just gonna kill myself. No, it's not. Obviously you have to put in the effort, but it became such an obsession, and it something that I'm still dealing with today, because it's something that you're never gonna get over it 100%. It's something my dad told me when he stopped drinking. He's like, you always got to be alert, always in alert, because that little it's a disease that you will never recover from 100%. You can learn how to manage it and have control over it. But the moment you leave a little bit of the door open, it's going to sneak back in. And it's going to take over, and you're going to be even worse than before, because the relapses are always worse. Like you go so much deeper. And I've gotten relapses here a bunch of times. And I still think about it all the time. I still think about what I'm eating, and I eat a lot, obviously, but I work out like a motherfucker. You know what I mean?
You actually, for you at home, if you check out her Instagram, this girl is like a kickboxing fiend. I mean, here, check out these right here.
Mention this.
And on top of it, she's got some nunchuck skills like no one's business.
Yep. Yeah. I always keep myself very active. Not only because of just my body or whatever. It's just I really enjoy it. I'm very active, and I'm hyperactive in mind and body. Both physically and mentally. So that really helps me deal with my anxiety too a lot. Like I really, when I moved to LA, the first year here was miserable. It was a nightmare. I wanted to die. It came to a point where I was literally hitting my head in the floor, just screaming to God and be like, God, if this is how I'm going to be living my days, please kill me. Like, I don't want to, like, this is just torture for me. I'm not enjoying life. I am being miserable right now. And all I want to do is cry. All I want to do is, everything is so negative. Nothing makes sense. I feel so out of place. I don't understand anything. I don't know why everything is so dark and weird. And I was literally hitting my head to the point where I would bleed and be like, trying to see if my brain would like get back together and the cables would like connect again. Because I was like, something's wrong with me. I'm fucking going crazy. What's going on? I felt so desperate and helpless in that time. It was a whole entire year where I really didn't want to live.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. Yeah. And look at where you are now. But the one thing that I want to share with you about me as well is the first year and a half I thought was absolute hell. You know me as a person that just truly enjoys life. But there's one thing that like people don't realize about LA is while it seems like it's really tough and really hard, the energy here is so actually pure and beautiful that what it does is it puts so much pressure on you that it will either break you, or if you are here for the right reasons, it'll make you become the best version of yourself ever.
So true.
And
that is so
I
true.
grow now almost weekly, if not monthly, and I'm eternally grateful to live in California because this is such a beautiful place to not only become a better version of yourself, but actually like find the ability to do what you're doing right now and talk openly about things that we really need to talk about.
Yes.
Because vulnerability is now strength. And showing your best light is saying, hey, I'm struggling.
Yeah.
And so thank you so much for sharing.
Of course, absolutely.
Now what song are you going to be playing for us?
I'm going to be playing this new song. I'm actually going to release. This is my next single.
Ooh.
Which hopefully will be out by May, mid-May. I'm working with it with my good friend Beto. He's helping me.
I love Beto so much. He's actually been on the show before.
Oh, really? He
Yeah.
has? Oh, nice. So he is doing the production. I mean, he's been working on all my music. It's amazing. So we're working on this new song I actually wrote about a year and a half ago, which really talks about that one person or that one being that you either believe in, or that person, your friend or your boyfriend, whoever, represents something in your life and helps you deal with your issues, how that person rescues you in your darkest moments.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
What an amazing song for this.
Yeah. I mean, it's really perfect. Actually, it's perfect for this day and for my life too. Right now, it means a lot, and I actually wrote that myself. Because a lot of songs I co-write with people and stuff. This one was just me in my room, and it was so quick when I wrote it. Because a lot of times songs can take a year to write.
But when you're actually talking about true vulnerability in yourself, everything can just flow.
It's just funny because again, I'm a very uplifted person, very happy usually. I have a lot of energy and stuff. But when it comes to writing songs, most of my songs are like so depressing. Like they're super like.
Well, you have to get out some energy somewhere.
Yes, and it's like I'm always just smiling and just being light. Let me just have my darkness when I write, please. Like when that really vulnerable moment.
Well, we're not perfect people, so we always have different levels.
Yes.
And speaking of levels, thank you so much for your vulnerability and opening up. And we look forward to hearing your song.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I mean, amazing. I loved it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's hard to think of something else. Sometimes I feel I'm not myself. But it's okay. I know it will not last so long. It's only madness that comes with sadness. I feel myself falling so deep. It's cold and dark and I can see. But now that I'm with you, I'm finally breaking through beyond this madness, this empty sadness. You make me feel like nothing's wrong, like every part of me is strong. I don't wanna die hiding in my mind. I just wanna feel alive. I don't wanna let this go, this feeling that I now control. Cause deep inside my mind, it's all been black and white, but I'm no longer colorblind. I used to be so scared of me, my own reflections hunting me. But now that I've embraced, I thought that was misplaced. Beyond this madness, you light my darkness. You made me feel like nothing's 'Cause deep inside my mind, it's all been black and white. But I'm no longer caught